right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday, the 19th of August, and man, I'll tell you what the effect of 50% off sale has on our wine drinking people. A feeding frenzy on yesterday's email, but hey man, that's not us. We're not the 50% off store. We do that every once in a while, but what we specialize in here at Wine Watch is showcasing the world's greatest wines produced from some of the greatest wine producing families, like the Perrin family in the Southern Rhone, most famous for Chateau Beaucastel. But like everybody else in the wine business, these guys have branched out. They branched out to California, and they've got one of the greatest brands in California. Well, they've got most of the genetic material. These guys in their U.S. importer, Rob and Haas, started Tablas Creek, and it took them like 5 years to get started because they quarantined all the stuff and they brought it in legally, unlike a lot of people that did it with the suitcase clones. And today, almost everyone is using their genetic material to propagate vineyards. So a very famous family in the Southern Rhone and now around the world. So these guys look to branch out into neighboring appellations in France as well. And Gigondas to the south. This is a lesser-known appellation than Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Châteauneuf-du-Pape actually started when the Pope Clementine decided it wasn't safe for him to live in Bordeaux anymore. He had a very famous chateau there, Chateau Pape Clement, and he came there in the 14th century, and thus the fame of this region grew and grew. And Châteauneuf-du-Pape, one of the most counterfeited wines in the early part of the last century, so it was the first place where the AOC laws took hold in France. And today, you don't find a lot of these Gigondas wines going into Burgundy anymore to beef it up in a bad vintage. Those kind of things just don't happen with great producers anyways around the world. These guys focus on estate bottled wines. And when these guys branched out into Gigondas, which the name here means great pleasure and enjoyment in Latin, and the town was used as a recreational site by soldiers in the Roman times in the Second Legion. They found a Bacchus head there, which indicates they've been drinking there for quite some time. And the fields went to the church and later to the Prince of Orange. And well, as early as 1894, the wines of the region won a gold medal in the agricultural fair in Paris. So it wasn't until the 50s, well, 1971 actually, that the appellation was separated from the Côte du Rhône and called Gigondas in its own right. Anyways, the Perrin family were looking for an area, and the land here is a little less expensive than it is in Châteauneuf, and similar grape varietals. Well, this wine, this little Gigondas Larnay Vieille Vigne, which if you look at the picture of these vines, they're 140 years old, pre-phylloxera. One of the things that the Perrin family were looking for is a unique terroir here, and the only terroir they were interested in was this sandy outcropping on the top with limestone on the bottom. And like I said, they found this old pre-phylloxera vineyard here, and they said, man, this is it. And let me tell you, it's one of the most amazing versions of Gigondas that I've ever had. I had this at a dinner with Mr. Perrin when he was in town just recently there at the new Michael Mina Steakhouse in the Fontainebleau Hotel. And incredible juice. I was just blown away by this wine. 100% Grenache. And man, what incredible, almost Burgundian-like bouquet to the nose. Very pretty cherry and plum fruit. Really lovely silkiness on the tongue. And this 2010 vintage, a firm backbone of a city. This wine's got a long, complex finish. Let me tell you, as close as I've ever had to a killer Gigondas. Most excellent plus is our rating here, which is just below killer. And if I had a chance to taste this wine on the second day, who knows, we may have elevated the score, because I can tell you this wine just got better and better as it sat in the glass. So hey, just for all you people that like Beaucastel, we're going to include everything from the Perrin family of wines on this offering that we've got available to us here at the Wine Watch. So check it out. Killer Gigondas, along with everything else from the Perrins. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.